Welcome to Deborah Investigates. I am your host, Deborah, and I am taking the liberty of renaming today's episode Deborah Vents. You see, I'm frustrated and I am venting today about the media onslaught of one of our heroes, somebody that we should be revering for the contributions they have made to the entertainment industry. I'm talking about none other than Sean Pdiddy Puffy Love Combs. Sean Pdiddy Combs started his life in Harlem, USA to a single mother. And he then went to Howard University, did an internship at Uptown Records. And while at Uptown Records, helped develop the industry introduction to Jodeci, executive produced Mary J. Blige and gave us the queen of hip hop soul. Then he started his own label and gave us the Notorious B.I.G. He gave us the Locks. He gave us Faith Evans. He gave us the Flavor in the Ear. Oh, that song was so bad. In addition to Bad Boy and all of the music that he produced and contributed to, he then went and gave us a drink, Ciroc, so we could get drunk. And with about 600, 700 million in his bank account, he still wasn't done. No, he said he's going to start Ciroc, he's going to start Revolt, and introduce the world to Charlemagne the God, who we all adore. Him and his ex-girlfriend, Cassie, were having threesomes with male sex workers and female sex workers. And that is what the government case is about. I was listening to one of a million videos last week that constantly want to demonize this man. And I was listening to one in particular where, she was acting like it was Charles Manson. I'm talking about the witch herself, aka Nancy Grace. And Miss Grace talks about how reports are now there that P. Diddy is jealous of the attention and love that Luigi is getting. And I don't doubt it. You see, from P. Diddy's perspective, right, we saw Luigi in broad daylight execute an innocent man. We saw that. We see the evidence of him with his manifesto. We see the evidence of him with a gun. And yet, he's a good-looking white boy, come from a privileged background. And the public is eating out of the palm of his hands. P. Diddy, by the way, is having threesomes with his girlfriend and is demonized. I wonder if we can't see that there's still a difference in standards for how we treat black people and white people. This is an onslaught of the man's contributions to the entertainment industry and American culture. It's an onslaught and an insult. We did the same thing to Michael Jackson. After Michael Jackson contributed to music like no other artist. And yet with Michael, there seemed to be more evidence. And it was talking about child sexual abuse. No, we're not talking about nothing more than threesomes. Do we understand that? It's threesomes. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll with male and female sex workers. That's the government's case. And yet everybody is revering and loving Luigi. Now, I would be pissed too if I was P. Diddy. Utterly pissed. This is utter madness. We have got to stop this onslaught of this man. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything that isn't happening every single weekend in Miami, in New York, in Atlanta. Every single weekend, something like this is happening. Yet we're all acting so puritanical, like that's the worst thing in the world. Now listen, I don't condone some of the actions and the taking of the drugs and the bringing in the male and female sex workers. No. But that's not my business to judge what somebody else does in the privacy of their bedroom with consenting adults. Because I do remember them asking, was the adults forced to engage in these sexual acts? And the state attorney said consent is not part of their case. The madness. I want us to remember what life was like prior to having P. Diddy and that 90s generation of hip-hop executives kind of explode on the scene and made being black cool. I wonder if we remember that it wasn't like that prior to the influence that these guys had on American culture and English culture, because I grew up in England. What they are projecting this man to be doesn't seem to be consistent with who and his actions. I'm going to leave us today with a thought. We hear Puffy talk about his son, Quincy. And who is Quincy? Well, Puffy was dating Kim Porter. Kim Porter was his baby mum for his son at the time, Christian. He also has twins with Kim Porter. But at the time, it was just Christian. And Kim Porter was a single mother with a deadbeat baby daddy called Albie Shaw. And Puffy has taken Quincy as his own. Taken another man's child and raised him. That is somebody who I think is somebody we revere, and we want our men to do that when they date women with children and the other daddy isn't doing anything. Right? That's what we want. And people who haven't really looked into who Puffy is seem to have him as this demon. He's not. The mountain of evidence. What? Baby oil? For real? We have domestic violence. Yeah, bad, and I'm not disputing that, but that's not a federal crime. And that is not what's in the indictment. The indictment is transporting sex workers across state lines to engage in commercial sex acts. But oh yeah, we do like the person that kills in broad daylight though, because he's white and good looking. Come on, peeps. Peace out.